Hi, I'm Konstantin Baum, Master of Wine, and today I'm trying to answer a question that has plagued the wine world for a long time. Does size matter? Or rather, does the size of the bottle have an impact on the quality of the wine? In order to do that, I'm going to take a bath in champagne, or rather taste the same champagne from 5 different bottle sizes in a blind tasting extraordinaire. Let's pop some corks. Bottles are more important than people might think. Without the glass bottle, wine would have never developed the way it did. Before techniques evolved so that glass bottles could be produced in bulk, wine was generally transported and stored in barrels, amphoras and skins. Only when the glass bottle was introduced at a larger scale, wine could slowly evolve in bottle without going bad. One style of wine that did not exist before the glass bottle was sparkling wine. The point of sparkling wine is, well, that it sparkles, and the CO2 would generally escape from all other vessels but the glass bottle. For champagne and other sparkling wines, the bottle is even more important, as it becomes the vessel for the second fermentation, when a simple sour and light base wine is turned into sparkling wine. Champagne bottles therefore need to be thicker, as they have to withstand the pressure that builds up in the bottle, which can be way higher than the pressure in your tire, for example. On top of that, they generally have a deeper punt because that increases the surface area of the glass and makes the bottle even stronger. The Champenois do love their bottles. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they were very creative when naming their bottles. Most people know the standard bottle, the half bottle and the magnum bottle, but there's also the quarter bottle, which is called quarter bottle even though it's not really a quarter of anything. It's 0.2 liters in size. The bigger bottles carry names taken from the Bible like Jeroboam, Balthasar and Salomon. Some of them were kings, but not all of them, as some sources suggest, and no one really knows why these names were picked. There's a lot of discussion about the ideal bottle size. Most producers and experts agree, though, that the same base wine, fermented and aged in different bottle sizes, tastes different. This is mainly explained by the fact that larger sized bottles contain less oxygen and are exposed to less oxygen during disgorgement relative to their volume. It was also discovered that the oxygen contained in the cork, which is the same size for a standard bottle and a magnum, for example, has less impact on the larger volume bottle, and therefore the wine tastes fresher and more vibrant. You can also add that external factors such as light and temperature have less of an impact on a large bottle than on a small one, and the fermentation in a large bottle generally takes longer and therefore produces more complex wines. Most champagne producers seem to recommend the magnum bottle over the smaller size bottles, but is this really good advice, or are they just trying to sell more champagne? Let's find out. I have 5 bottles of the same champagne here: the quarter bottle, the half bottle, the standard bottle, the magnum bottle, and the 3-liter Jeroboam bottle, and I'm going to taste them all blind to see whether I can spot any differences and find out which one I prefer. So this is Moet et Chandon's Brut Imperial, which is produced on a wide scale and is generally very consistent in quality. So all of these babies were filled with the same base wine. The only difference is the size of the bottle. So let's open them. So this thing is really cute. A baby bottle, really. But it looks like a miniature champagne bottle. I think this is the first time I've opened one of those quarter bottles. And I still don't really know why they are called quarter bottles. So comment down below if you know. Would be funny if it would make like a smaller pop sound. So this is the half bottle, which is like the ideal picnic size, or, well, if you have an evening alone and don't want to drink too much. And this is the standard bottle. I don't know how many of these are produced every year, but I reckon a lot. And this is the Magnum, the bottle shape most champagne producers actually prefer. Little fun fact, most bottles bigger than the 3-liter bottle are actually filled with Magnum bottles. So the wine doesn't re-ferment in these huge bottles. It's just filled with Magnums. So I haven't made a mess so far, which is good. But you shouldn't praise the day before nighttime. Is that the saying? I don't know. And now the biggest of the bunch, the 3-liter Jeroboam bottle, which is a bottle size that I don't very often hold in my hands, unfortunately. It's kind of heavy, but I'm excited to open it. At some point, those bottles get really difficult to manage. One of the biggest formats, the Primat, contains 36 champagne bottles. That's 27 liters. It's 1 meter tall and it weighs 65 kilograms. So you really need help when you want to pour yourself a glass. I've been working out, so I can still handle this. Barely. Imagine one of those bottles exploding on you. That'd be a mess. You can see here that the Jeroboam bottle actually has a bigger cork than the Magnum bottle, standard bottle, and the half bottle. And the only one here that has a really tiny cork is the quarter bottle, which is, yeah, it's cute. It's really, really small. I'm going to pour the champagne into the glasses. All of the glasses are labeled, so there's a Q for quarter, H for half, an S for standard, Magnum, and J for Jeroboam. And then I'm going to get out my randomizer. So now I'm going to just mix them up a little bit on the table. Before I put them on my randomizer, patent pending. This is a little bit tight, but I think it's going to work. Let's go. Let's taste. So looking at the glasses, they kind of look the same, even though this one looks like it has less bubbles. Don't really know what that means, but I'm just going to start off with this one. It smells of lemon zest, quite fresh, vibrant, not too many yeasty, brioche notes, so quite delicate. On the palate, it's light and creamy. It again feels like it has lower CO2 levels than other champagnes might have. But, well, let's taste the rest first. Just smelling them is fascinating because they are very different. This one, for example, has quite pronounced, complex flavors. It's quite intense and rich, where, well, some are lighter and some are stronger. So, interesting. So as I'm tasting them, I'm going to shuffle them around in the order of preference, with this one being the less exciting and this one being the best. Okay, this is fascinating. I think this is my lineup in order of preference from the worst to the best. I actually think they are fairly similar, with the exception of this one, which is, in my opinion, outstanding. I mean, it's much better than all of the rest. With the other four, it's kind of, well, there's a difference by a point or two between them, so not a lot. They are very similar in style, very similar in expression, especially on the palate. They tend to taste quite similar. This one, just on the nose, it has this flintiness, this reduction, which is really appealing and very, very interesting. So let's find out which one is which, shall we? So let's start with the worst. I mean, there's not a world of difference between them, but I thought this was kind of lighter. The CO2 was lower, there was less bubbles, it was more fruit driven, a little bit less exciting, I'd say. So this one is the half bottle. All right, so not the smallest bottle, but the second smallest. And I just thought it wasn't really doing it for me, but it was fine. So let's move on to the next, which was the quarter bottle. Okay, the smallest bottle actually was better than the half bottle. And I'm actually not 100% sure whether the quarter bottle is actually fermented in this tiny bottle or whether it's also being somehow refilled from other bottle sizes. I should have found that out before making this video, I guess, but I will find out somehow. Okay, let's move on to the third. And I actually thought those two were very similar in style. And the third is the standard bottle. Okay. So the one with the S here. So there is a clear trend towards bigger is better, but now let's find out whether the best wine came actually from the biggest bottle. Magnum. So this is the M for Magnum, and this wine came in second. Like I said, I actually thought that the Magnum bottle tasted very similar to the standard bottle, and if I'm honest, it actually also tasted fairly similar to the quarter bottle. So those three were pretty much on the same level. So that means that the huge bottle, the big J, the Jeroboam bottle, won the tasting. And well, I really thought this was quite extraordinary. It was very complex, very, very interesting, much more complex than the previous wines. I mean, again, there's not a world between them. It's, I think, a few points, maybe 2 or 3 points, but this is definitely better. I do love serving champagne from big bottles at birthday parties or other celebrations in my house. And normally I'm using the Magnum, but maybe now I'm going for the Jeroboam instead. Let's see. So thank you for watching. If you liked this video, then please like it down here. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. My question of the day is, what am I supposed to do with all this champagne? Let me know down below. Also, let me know if you have any experiences when it comes to quality and bottle size. I'm really interested in hearing what your experiences are. I hope I see you guys again soon. Until then, man, lots of champagne ahead of me. So stay thirsty, just like me.